What is going on, beautiful people? My name is BetSam, and this is going to be the UFC betting guide. And if you don't know what the UFC betting guide is, it's basically a little teaser of where my head's at, what I'm picking for the fights, a little sprinkle of some long shots. We've got some parlay pieces in there and some underdogs that I think you could consider for your lineup. We're also going to talk a little bit about last week and some of the success we had. So buckle in, enjoy. First of all, this is a premium play. If you belong to We Want Picks Premium, you would have had this. You would have seen Kevin Vallejos around the one knockout, plus 210. He was a huge favorite, so I thought that this was the most likely outcome. And when I saw that you had plus 210, even just plus money in general, I was all over this, so I had to hit it. And Kevin Vallejos got there, got it done in one, as predicted. A beautiful sight to see. We cashed that ticket for the premium members. Then we had Waldo Cortez Acosta by knockout. That was almost 3 times your money, just slightly less than. And as well, as soon as that fight started to play out, you could see that you had the better side in Waldo Cortez Acosta. Ryan Spann's striking was sloppy. He was looking at the referee. He didn't really look like he wanted to be there, to be honest with you guys. So Waldo Cortez Acosta locked it in, knocked them out. Beautiful stuff to see. And the last one as well, a juicy plus 300, Damon Blackshear submission. I was confident as hell in this play, even though the line was one of the higher props that I had chosen. I was definitely supremely confident on it. I was screaming it to the rooftops, and we went and got it done. So a lot of plus money handed out. We had a beautiful 40% ROI return for the premium members last week. It was excellent. So, if you want to sign up to We Want Picks Premium, click on the link in the description of this video. Sign up using code BetSam for 10% off. And if you want to save some extra money, sign up for a year. You get a discount on that as well. Let's break into this week's betting guide. First off, for the parlay pieces, we're going to run with Morgan Charrier to defeat Nathaniel Wood. Almost 1.7 times your money, minus 150 for the American homies. Listen, Morgan Charrier, I think that he defeated Chepe Mariscal, and I think that Chepe would beat Nathaniel Wood, and 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2, but in this instance, I think it's going to. A lot of stock is being put into Nathaniel Wood having the hometown advantage, and unless there's a screw job decision here, I see Morgan Charrier being bigger. I see him landing the more damaging shots. I think he is going to force Nathaniel Wood to strike more than Nathaniel Wood may perhaps want to, because, when we see Wood working his game, he likes to work in some takedowns as well. I think this is going to be primarily a striking affair, and I think that Morgan Charrier also could explore grappling of his own. I think there's a lot of upside. The price is one of the better ones here, so I'm taking Charrier as the best priced parlay piece this week. Then we have Jordan Vucenic at $1.20, big minus 500 price tag. While I don't like to say, these big price tags are good parlay pieces, I really do think that Vucenic, you're getting the more complete fighter, big submission upside. He seems to be ever improving, and his resume is a lot better as well. Give me Jordan Vucenic to defeat Chris Duncan. Then we have, obviously, Slam of the Week's Carlos Ulberg. And if you tailed Slam of the Week, it was 1.45 times your money. That line is getting juiced. I still think he goes out there, gets it done, defeating old man Jan Blachowicz. So give me Carlos Ulberg as the final parlay piece. Now for our underdogs, of course, Kevin Holland back down at welterweight. If he steps on that scale and looks good at 170 pounds, watch out. Because this dude, he's a bit of a demon. And, even though he's fighting a heavy submission guy, he's a lot smaller than the type of people that have been holding Kevin Holland down, the people that have been exposing him in the grappling. And so I think Kevin Holland can hold his own in the grappling. And in the striking, it is not even close. Kevin Holland should be able to light Gunnar Nelson up left, right, and center. The club and sub is live as well, so if you're looking to sprinkle something there, that could be juicy as well. Then we have Chris Taco Padilla. I severely underestimated Chris Padilla early on in his UFC tenure. I picked Rongju as a Slam of the Week. It cost me, Chris Padilla with that huge step-in elbow turned the tides of a fight that I believe he was losing and on his route to losing a decision. But that's something I like to see. When the chips are down, what do you have for me? And Chris Padilla has a giant elbow there. He has submission upside. He's got a good heart. And even though he's going to give up some size in this matchup, I think he's a perfectly live underdog. Last one but not least, and this is the lowest confident underdog of all. This isn't a fighter I'm picking in this matchup. I want to state that one very clearly. The other two I am picking. In this matchup here, Andre Pudelayev is, he's a huge underdog here, and he's a complete mixed martial artist. And even though his level of competition has been quite low, he's taking on Christian Leroy Duncan, who really has only beaten the bottom of the barrel in this division. And so we're going to find out if Pudelayev is better than the bottom of the barrel or not? Because if he is, there's a chance that he causes an upset here. And I think the only way that's going to happen is if he gets a big energy transfer early. And that's whether that's a big shot that wobbles CLD, whether that's a takedown where he gets some control. He's got to take some of the steam off of CLD, because if Christian Leroy Duncan is allowed to just work his game, do distance management striking, land big shots from the outside, or get on top himself, then I think Parlay is going to have a rough night. He's probably going to get finished by knockout. Moving on to some long shots here, guys. And, that's the long shot life changers. These are not likely to hit. Right? They are not. But for the price, if you're a risky business player and you want to sprinkle, sign yourself up here. We've got some for you. Alexia Tainara by KO, TKO. Listen, Molly McCann is incredibly durable, and people like to think of a knockout as a big one shot, which I'm not saying that Tainara is going to land. I'm not saying she's going to go out there and spark Molly McCann, but she might cut her open. She might damage her. She could get her in a crucifix type position, land some elbows, and the referee is forced to step in. We've seen Molly McCann have some grappling holes in the past year. What if Alexia Tainara gets her in a compromised position on the ground? It's just landing little shots, just ba, 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 just bang, banging her out. All of a sudden, 11 times money come flooding in. I'm going to say that it's live here. Alexia Tainara to knock out Molly McCann. It's perfectly reasonable. Then we have Kevin Holland by submission. Club and sub, man. Club and sub is absolutely live here for Kevin Holland over Gunnar Nelson. Also, I think a guillotine is live. If Gunnar Nelson gets in on a slow takedown, Kevin Holland has those big, long arms. He's a legitimate black belt. This dude is a lot better on the ground than people give him credit for. The head and arm triangles in there. I think Kevin Holland, even with an armbar, there's so many opportunities here in this matchup that, people are just going to assume that 36-year-old Gunnar Nelson's going to come in here and work his game. Don't be so certain. So a little sprinkle here on the sub. I'm signing off on that one. Then we've got Jordan Vucenic, round 2 submission. I think Jordan Vucenic gets out there, uses his hands early in round 1, settles into the fight, and then goes to town with the grappling and gets a round 2 submission. That's my official prediction. That's how I think this fight is going to go down. So the round 2 sub here, almost 10 times your money. It's a long shot, but hey, something's going to hit. And then we have Felipe Dos Santos by submission. This one's a wild boy. No, I don't think Felipe Dos Santos wins this fight. But there is a world. You imagine where Felipe Dos Santos kind of hurts, Lona. Not a big KO blow, but, rocks him on the feet. All of a sudden, he's getting in there. He's rushing. Lona tries to move out of the way. He somehow finds himself on a body triangle. Sinks in the rear naked choke as Lona's getting himself his wits about him. Felipe Dos Santos wins the fight by submission. Crowd goes wild. Would love to see it. 15 times your money. Guys, that is going to be the UFC betting guide for UFC London. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping it with a like. Hit a comment below some of your long shots that you guys are considering playing as well. And lastly but not least, if you do want to see all of my bets, all of my premium plays, round line leans, official predictions, and more, go to the link in the description. We want picks /BetSam. Code BetSam for 10% off your first sign up. And I'll see you at the cash counter.